All right, let's talk with Spirit about PTSD. So, I having some sort of an episode today. So, I asked Spirit, well, about the magnetic thought. So I know the law of attraction, and I know that thoughts attract thoughts. And so I want to find the better thought. And Spirit's always saying, think of something positive. So I know that my stress is created by a thought or worrying or stress, pending doom. And it's magnetic, right? So it's like you think of something or a thought passes by and you give it any attention at all. It's like a little shard of magnet. And then I bring in something from yesterday, something from last week, last month, last year, last decade. And the magnetism gets bigger and bigger, and it gets stronger, and it creates this big magnet, and you carry this around. And you're constantly magnetizing that fear and that constant fight or flight and doom and fear that something's going to happen. Okay, so then when you let go of it all, so when you're like, okay, I'm not going to think about that in a way that then magnetizes other thoughts to it, that then escalates into a panic attack or, full-blown, depression or whatever. So how do you change the thought? And so I was working with Spirit. Well, think of something fun. I can't think of anything fun. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the last fun thing you did? Well, I can't associate something fun I did without the result of what it ended up being. So, which is funny because Spirit gives me the analogy, which is kind of gross and too much information. And my spiritual advisor, this comes up a lot too. It's like, okay, well, you have this great, beautiful meal and you're really enjoying it. And then when it's done, it, turns to, what does it turn to, right? It's about enjoying the process in the moment. Or, you're having this great meal and watching this great movie and then the movie ends. Well, yeah. And that's why a lot of people with PTSD like to watch movies again and again, because they can predict it and it's comforting. So funny. This is acting like it's dark. Maybe it's not dark. Oh. So find the better thought seems easy, but it can be a challenge. What's the better thought? When you're having, my mom used to call it pity party. My mom had, I was always responsible to keep my mother from, being suicidal and being depressed and being angry and being, and she used to call it a pity party. So it's like, but once you start, it's magnetized. I would, with my ex, I would get into some sort of something or other. And I have a legitimate feeling. Like, I feel this. So instead of standing up for my rights and just being honest about my feelings and then leave, not stay there, not thinking I had a choice to leave, I would then go into defending myself, and then it would escalate into me being very down, very depressed, very upset, and sometimes for days, when now, I know that the solution's like, I don't like the way you're talking to me, I don't like the way you're treating me, I'm out of here, right? And you just leave. And to know that you can live in a car, to know that you can, create a different life and not have to put up with gaslighting or withholding love and playing games and in monogamy, right? And not letting yourself be free and reenacting your childhood. I didn't know that I could be like, okay, well, I'm just going to go. She made sure vehicles were in both of our names. She supported my mom with financially, my partner did, but she didn't support me like that. Like, I didn't have the freedom. There's just a lot that I'm remembering. Anyway, I had someone tell me the other day, so it doesn't really matter what it is that comes along. It's a new thing to grab onto for your programs. So when you're sitting in a moment and going, I could just be at peace. I could just read a book. I can watch a movie. I can just sit here and look at crystals. I could do anything, and I'm free. And why am I not? Where's the joy, right? And so the Spirit says the programs feel joy and feel what they call joy by habit. And the habit of being on survival mode and kind of kicking your own ass emotionally is more dominant than you being kind to yourself or you doing things that are fun. The habit is that I have these programs that are like, hey, we're doing good by you, right? We're doing right. We're answering the call to the universe, because what you're putting out is that you're really excited about these negative emotions. So we're going to bring you more of these negative emotions, right? So that's the pattern. And PTSD creates that as a survival method as a child. And then if you have an event that triggers you then later in life, then you kind of have that constant fear. Like I have going of it when we were mobbed by 400 people, I was kind of just floating in and out of it. And then the trigger became more and more. And by the next morning, I had a panic attack. And then I couldn't leave the house for 3 weeks. And then I'd go to the store and stuff. And then when I finally did, I had to live stream and stuff. And then I see these people at the parks. I see them at the store. I see them in the food line. I see them at the doctor. And I panic. And sometimes I have a full-blown panic attack, and sometimes I don't. And, and to know that they still feel like that was love, right? So, like, I can't go to the mental health counseling here in Port Townsend, Discovery Behavioral Health, because the people that were in the mob work there. They're, the counselor that I had there was like, I was telling her about what happened to me, and she's like, oh, well, those were right-wingers, right? I'm like, no, those were liberals, but this has nothing to do with politics. I'm talking about my PTSD, what's happened to me, right? And then right after the incident, I had a dental appointment. I had a panic attack, and my heart, they didn't think they were going to be able to get my heart rate down. Like, my heart was just going to explode because the masks triggered me. Spirit's telling me and telling all of you that right now we're moving to this other level. And I want to be cynical. I try to argue with Spirit. I'm like, well, so what? What does that mean to me? Like, what? I don't see nothing, right? I don't see nothing. And then those are the days that you call a pity party, right? Because I have beauty all around me. I have magnificent trees, incredible beaches, incredible animals. There's a smile anywhere you go when you're looking for it. But when you're afraid, then that's what you run into. Okay, I have beautiful things to look at every day. I have, freedom, but I don't feel that in my body because my programs are wound up at obsessing over bad things that could happen, or bad things that are happening, or bad things that might want to happen, and they feel more comfortable in that. So as I practice to not feed thoughts, then you have this horrible feeling in your solar plexus. And it's just the muscles are, you're trying to relax the muscles that are obsessed over stress for maybe your whole life, childhood abuse, whatever. And when you let go, so when you're not trying to be a savior, or you're not a victim, or you're not any of the archetypes, you're sitting there in the moment practicing being no archetypes. There's a part of you going, oh, boring, snoring, Snoresville. And so it tries to create excitement. And what it finds exciting is creating negative things to come into your life that you have to survive, right? Or it feeds this thought of this person's going to hurt you, and that person's going to hurt you, and this person's going to kill you, and that person's going to beat you up, and this person's going to happen, and you're going to starve to death, and this isn't going to work out, and that isn't going to work out. When in that same amount of time, you could be going, everything always works out for me. And I'm safe, and I'm not a victim, and I create my reality, and I trust my own self. I trust my spirit guides. I trust where I'm at. I trust what I've drawn into my life is meant to come here and to dissolve fear, to dissolve old programs. And Spirit show me they will eventually dissolve by feeling them, but they're obviously still there, right? And so I wake up into them. So today I woke up kind of panicked over something. again, I've been over it and over and over it. And how is it that big of a deal? Like I said, worst case scenario, something's removed from my life that I haven't used in 15 years. Why am I panicking? Well, it goes into, Spirit says that childhood trauma of telling the truth and not being heard, of, telling on your abuser and then you get spanked, right? Or you get grounded, or you get in some sort of trouble because you told the truth, and the person in charge and authority sided with the abuser every time. And it's triggering that wound in me, even though the outcome, the worst case scenario, the outcome, whatever, is trust Spirit, trust God, just let it happen. It is what it is. So why do I need to panic? Why can't I just walk through it? Why do I lose all feeling in my legs and my heart rate goes up and blood loss? Like I'm obviously don't have blood loss, but I feel like, whoa, right? Because I've conjured up some fear in my mind of the power that agencies have over me, and that other people have over me, that my mother had over me, that my partners had over me. And so Spirit said, I'm releasing this. And, but it don't feel like release. It feels like magnetized energy that I can't let go of. And so this morning when I woke up in it, I was like, that's okay, that's cool. I set a marker last night. I'm like, I'm going to wake up feeling good. I'm going to have this thought. So I'm laying there. I'm like, okay, well, it's a thought. So think of something fun. So I was trying to think of something. I was trying to think of like sledding or sort of boating or some sort of meal or a movie I don't know. I was trying to think of something that was a happy thought or some fun that I'd had, and I couldn't think of anything. And then the one thing I flashed on, I was like, well, no, because I can't I flash on what that became. So which is weird, because when I'm not in this energy, I love my writing. I love my poems. I love my stories. I'm also probably a little agitated because I'm doing something else too. When you have ADHD or you have different mental stuff or maybe PTSD, whatever, you kind of get comfort from what they call as doom scrolling, right? So I used to watch YouTube, so I watched things, or I could maybe watch a movie. For years I couldn't watch a whole movie. I had to pause it or skip around. Couldn't pick a movie. Kind of just need that constant input. And so once I found TikTok, like I'd watch a TikTok, like 1-3 minutes now, they do them up to 20 or whatever, watch TikTok. But then I'd get to where I couldn't. Like I just watch a couple seconds and I got the whole thing downloaded. And so then I just, right? And so then that's given some sort of a dopamine or some sort of a, right? One will be like, oh my gosh, this emotion's happy. This emotion's a cute puppy. This emotion triggers me. These people are this. Like it gives you all of these arrays of emotion that kind of gives a chemical hit to the body and distracts you from what you're feeling or what you're working through. And so I'm on a TikTok fast. I think I'm 3 days into that. So I made one, but I'm not looking at it. And it's odd. It's like the Joneses, I used to play poker when I was 18 and probably from like 18 to 25 and play like 12 hours at a time or whatever. It was the highs and lows of that. It became an addiction, not necessarily, I guess, a gambling addiction per se, but maybe you could say I had a gambling addiction. I don't know. But I cured that by going, okay, well, so instead of spending $300 at the poker table, I don't know why I'm telling you all this, but I'll go and buy myself like a drill or a tool or so I have something to show for it. And I kind of retrained myself. Retraining works, and that's what I'm trying to do now. But I can't think of a happy thing to think about to retrain. But like in high school, I used to drink, I thought I drank Coke. Maybe I drank Pepsi. I'd like to think I was always a Coke. Anyway, so I used to do weights in the gym all the time. And I had joined the National Guard. I was in the National Guard while I was in high school. And I had to quit drinking pop to be able to go, we called it pop, soda pop, to go to boot camp. And so in order to train myself, every time I reach for Pepsi, I drink orange juice, right? And so the first few times it's like orange juice is a little, but then it was like I just became used to orange juice. Whether it's like, fasting, you fast for like 3 days, whatever you do, spirits like food stuff, it's three days, right? To get that sugar, to get that. And I had these healthy fig cookies, and I hated them. But after I'd fast for 3 days, I liked them because it would change the energy. And Spirit's showing me these examples that it's similar. And so finding the better thought. And so I can't. I've been trying for days now, and I have this thing on my mind, and I can't let it go. I want to let it go. I've asked Spirit to help me to let it go, but the fear and the panic over it and the doom, whether it's irrational or not, is overpowering everything. So Spirit's suggesting to me to read my novels. So I'm going to do videos today. I got some stuff I need to do on the computer for my, life maintenance stuff, but I can't focus. I just can't think clear because my fight or flight, it's not calm enough to stay in the project to do what I need to do for my, household stuff and my, my paperwork. So Spirit suggesting today, and suggesting to you too, reading a novel. So I have, I don't know if you've ever seen them, really good, P.B. Moreland. There's 4 books, and I think I'm on book 3, and I haven't read much of it for the last couple years because I have this thing where stories like that, a lot of that is my story. I mean, unbelievable, right? The Mayans and the Hopi and the inner earth and all the different spiritual elements that the character goes through in the book, and her name's Crystal. Crystal Blue is the character. I really relate to. And when I like a book so much, I kind of don't read it. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want it to end. Which reminds me of another writing book I got the other day. So I'm going to be just doing my writing. I'm going to be doing my writing and my photography and my healing work. But right now, I'm going through something, whether it's the Mars retrograde and the Leo rising stuff, whatever it is, it's not fun. And because my rational mind, I could sit down with the other part of me and go, okay, well, here's the facts. So, just walk through. My rational mind could ask my PTSD mind over and over, well, why are you upset? And then become my father. Yeah, nothing to be upset over. I'll give you something to be upset over. Right. And then throw more at it. Right. So all that childhood stuff. So whether it's irrational or not, it's a magnet. And I'm like, okay, well, why can't I have obsessive thoughts that trigger my fight or flight or trigger my panic attack of fear, the stress that people and entities put on to me? Why can't I look at it differently? And so then I just try to replace the thoughts. And like Abraham Hicks, the 17 seconds, or a thought can land on the door, a bird can land on the door, you don't have to let it build a nest, stuff like that. But what? Think about what? And that's when people say, well, when you got jobs and you got kids and you got, husbands you're taking care of and extended family and you're volunteering and you're working and you're so busy, you're on survival. I mean, you're on survival a different way, right? So it's not that it's better to go and, work yourself to death and then just sleep and keep the cycle over and you have kids and you have plenty of things to obsess over, or whether you're going out all the time or dating or sexual stuff or drinking or whatever people do to distract themselves. Everybody has this. So everybody, once they don't have things in their life that distract them from their pain, we all have childhood trauma. We all have stuff we carry through our DNA. Even the indigos brought through some. But the newer kids now aren't coming in with karma and are coming in with very different. But they're still with parents who have to work this through. So you have to have those moments to sit with this. So moments when you don't have a spouse and and your kids are grown and you're retired, whenever it happens, at some point it happens to everybody, where you're sitting in, hey, career's over, kids are grown. It's all done. It's all over. I've had my life. and then you have a death. And then from that, you have a new life, and it's beautiful, and you're older, and you go, oh gosh, I don't have to worry about like always like my body to be a certain way for the, you know, and to be in the dating scene and to be in the approval of a boss and the approval of this person and the approval of that person. You're like, oh, thank God, you know, I've made it. 55, and I'm like, oh my God, okay, I don't have to deal with that anymore, right? But you all have to mourn what you wanted to be your life. And you all have to face that, whatever that you thought was so freaking cool. Because, oh my gosh, I got this, you know, real estate company, and I got this bakery and this ranch, and, you know, I'm a millionaire, and I have this great relationship, and I have this huge extended family, and I have, and, you know, and everything that you have is just another experience to add to your repertoire. This experience, that experience, this experience. And we take those experiences with us, but they're not here now. Those people are gone. Those extended family are gone. A lot of people have died. You know, the ranch has been gone long ago. I've been living by myself for 12 years. And now, as this next changeover is again, this next phase that, like I said, you might not go through it until your kids are grown. But the more time you can spend alone, sitting with it and not hiding from it in your pipe or your bottle or your sex addiction or your gaslighting or your games, the more you can sit with it now, the more it won't pile up on you later. You know, Spirit's like, you know, telling me, give myself a break, you know, and think of something fun and positive. I can't think of a fucking thing. And I know that sounds lame. I know that. And some people say, you know, why do I do things on camera? Why do I share them? I share them because I'm passionate about God, and I'm passionate about Spirit. I know death. I've died. I've talked to Spirit. I've had such amazing supernatural moments. I know God, and I know pure love and pure light, and I know magic. And so to be the, you know, I'm a Libra Scorpio cusp. I'm a Libra, and I'm the Queen of Hearts in the deck of the Destiny card. So I'm like the mother to the world. And so my whole how do they say that word? My whole life's mission, you know, from birth to grave, is emotions, is mastering my emotions. And so why not share them, right? And I don't care if people ridicule me. They do anyway. I don't care if people make fun of my mental health anyway. People make fun of me for telling the truth. People make fun of me for posting public records. People make fun of me for making fun of them. You know, whatever. And so, you know, I have thousands and thousands of videos out there. You know, I've been through it, and so many have, but they have family, they have kids, they have whatever. They can't talk about it. They can't have like an emotional breakdown on camera, like Sinead O'Connor or something. They can't call out the powers that be because they have too much to lose. But you find out, and what I'm talking about, you ain't got nothing to lose. There is nothing. And, you know, when you live in a car, like, well, electric, right? They make that up, right? It's everywhere. They make up their tax system. They make up their job system. They make up all this stuff to oppress you. They keep you in the matrix. You got your handlers. You got your spouses. You got everything you got to be. And when you break free from that and you're just sitting here going, well, okay, well, what's fun and groovy for me now? Well, the only sensible, the only thing for me moving into now is my own meditations, my own channeling, my own writings, my own, you know, I don't need people. I don't need small talk. I don't want to sit around and talk about someone's life goals. Like, okay, in 5 years, where do you see yourself? And okay, the university and the, you know, really? I've traveled to other dimensions. I walk around lucid in my dreams. I've seen spirits walking around buildings. I know that this system is phony and fake, and that I chose to experience this to master my own emotions. And so I know the truth of it all, but knowing the truth doesn't mean that I've mastered my emotions. Clearly, it's my lifetime chore. And, I'm a good person and I obey the law and I tell the truth. Don't matter. Their game treats me like I'm the bad person and I'm the criminal and I'm the liar, because they, don't look at the truth. And are they good? I mean, are they bad and I'm good? No. I have to get to that place of neutrality where nothing's bad and nothing's good. It just all is. It is. And to not invalidate their way of life as being better or worse than mine. And, okay, great. Got it. But in this monk sort of a Zen way, and I'm not rolling my eyes, spirit, but my job is to master my emotions, master my mind, master my thoughts. And your job is to do the same. Now, for now, you have kids. You have, maybe both people have a job. Maybe both, maybe the parents have jobs outside the house. You're letting other people raise your kid at daycare. You're all in, you believe in universities and what they teach you, which I hated college, dumbed me down. This class on indicator plants taught me 26 plants of the forest floor. I wrote a book on hundreds of them. I want to know more. I think that college is to dumb you down, right? They hold you down. This is what happened in history. This is what happened. But what about all this other information? I like to learn. And when I was in college, I hated it. I didn't even go to the classes. I just went for the tests. And, because I wanted to study things in depth. And I think that college, in some ways, is dumbing down, especially in, pre-bachelor or whatever. Anyway, that was digress. So I'm asking Spirit, how do I find the better thought when I can't think of anything fun or joyful? I'm not saying I can't think of anything positive. See, just now, a shadow on a car hit across the thing, and now my heart rate's up and I'm panicking. I want that to be gone. And the specialists say that that's too bad. It isn't ever going anywhere. The spiritual gurus might say, well, there's no such thing as PTSD. It's a thought. It's a magnetism. It's a change the thought. Okay, we'll think about something else. Think about how beautiful my fireplace is. Think about how beautiful the pictures and the mountains. And do you know when you're really looking at a picture, you don't have a thought. I can have a thought and scan around the room, but when I'm really looking at the colors and the snow-capped mountains and the castle, when I'm really looking at this, and my favorite pentacle card is the Ten of Pentacles, the moon shell found here. I like just look at things and touch things, Spirit said, and your guardian angels are always with you. And, that's what I'm working on. And I don't know if this is like I said, a Leo moon, Leo rising, Leo thing with the Mars retrograde. But I know that the PTSD stuff, it's a lifetime challenge for me. And now that I'm doing things different with my everyday, so I'm not focused on fighting against, I'm focused on what I want to bring in for my joy. But there's an in-between, Spirit says. So in letting go of one, I'm having some sort of withdrawals chemically, and in some sort of emotional way, because I'm not fight or flight in physical doing an action to try to save the world and do that. So in letting go of that, I'm seeing it more in my body. And so I'm like, well, that's cool, because the solution is think of something that I enjoy and invoke joy, okay? Invoke a feeling of pleasure and of peace. And today, I can't think of a goddamn thing to invoke that. And you'd think, it's not like I'm not feeling sorry for myself, I just, the other things are superseding, and I can't, I can find the better thought, but okay, so I can think of some positive affirmations, yeah. I am not a victim, and I am this, and I am that. I can do positive affirmations all day. I can do, and also with that physical, or spirit reminds me and reminds you, being physical. So I do physical things, right? Wear myself out physically. Walk, run, do your weights, do whatever physically to move the energy through. and definitely be doing that. But I just found it really odd that I'm like, okay, I know if I can think of something fun and I'm like, picture myself doing this fun, I'm bringing this fun feeling. And I was like, yeah, but I can't think of nothing fun. And my mind's kind of logical too, right? So it's like, if I think of something, I kind of have to be able to do it. So I'm like, oh, I don't have the energy for that. Or no, I gotta do that. I mean, I don't want to be literal, right? And when creating new worlds, you're not literal. Anyway, I'm just babbling. But that's why I call this Reverend Crystal Cox Ramble. So again, about the question of, why do I post stuff like this? Who fucking cares? What do you want to know? Oh, wait, you did ask. Okay, so, my videos help people. And if you're not that people and you're just here to make fun of me, well, whatever. I was going to say you're part of the problem, not the solution, but I'm my own problem. And my own thoughts are my own problem. And whatever was put on me in childhood or whatever was put on me by that mob, it's my job to heal it. And I'm working on healing it. And, it's my everyday challenge to get out of my own way, to get out of fight or flight every single day. You think that once you get back safe on shore, and survival's manageable, that you can just have peace. But that's when things let go and you heal and you feel all the pain and all the things that you didn't feel when you were surviving. And, no matter how you look at it, being a human is, chop wood and carry water, right? You have to continue to go to the store. You have to continue to do paperwork and things in this system. And we're moving to a better system, but it's still this worker bee system, and people still believe they need that. And I don't need that. I felt like I was done here on earth decades ago. And then spirit, I was like, this isn't like, it doesn't even, I'm not interested in any of this. When you see spirit, when there's an afterlife, when you see what other people think's magical, when you move dimensions, when you experience things that people go, that's impossible and you're crazy. It's like, And science, oh, well, yeah, all of a sudden there's a new planet. Oh, there's 2 moons. Yeah, there's always been 2 moons. Oh, yeah, your heart's over here. Yeah, it was always there. I mean, you can't believe anybody or anything. You're here to experience. And I'm here to experience. And my next phase is going to be, peaceful. And just my writing and my studies and I got a different way of life coming. And I hope to move. It's been an amazing challenge to be in a house on the highway with my PTSD. Like I'm a country girl. I lived on 200 acres, right? When I was young, we even had acreage around our trailer, and I spent most of my days on a 90-mile lake by myself. My motorcycle, just zipping around by myself. I'm not a city girl, so living on the highway, there's a certain PTSD of that, and I have worked that through with my guides of where I'm like, well, yeah, but there's also there's conveniences, and so see the positive and bring through. But I still do plan to leave. I lived in Friday Harbor in 2016, and I planned to go back when the funding came through for my church, but all that kind of fell apart. So I still do hope to move back to Friday Harbor. And I'm sure that the community that I'm living in, maybe they'll do a fundraiser to get me back, to get me out of here. I don't know. But I feel a little better talking about this and, sharing it with, even if there's one person out of millions, even if 1,000 people make fun of me or be mean or bully me over my videos, there's always at least one person that benefits from me sharing my vulnerability and my truth and what I go through with my own mental health and my own psychic abilities and my own spiritual and channeling and what I do. There's always at least one person, and that's what makes it worth it. Well, there's always two, because there's always me. I watch my videos back and I see what messages Spirit has said to me, because I don't often hear it when I'm saying it to you. And then I go, okay, well, these are what I'm going to work on. So now what I'm going to be working on is I'm going to be reading. So I'm on a TikTok fast. I'm on a TikTok ban of myself to break that habit of that. I'm trying to find ways to cope with current fight or flight panic attacks that are being triggered by recent events that are just like surprising me. Spirit says, be kind now. I'm being kind to myself. But you know, when you think you got something mastered and then you have to bring it up to feel it again. And Spirit just keeps telling me, well, this is just another layer. Just another layer, right? So anyway, so yes. So you'll find me here reading and in between panic attacks. And just sleeping, just laying there, just meditating and traveling and lucid traveling, talking and working with my guides. And yes, I have some paperwork I need to do on the computer, but I don't think that's going to be today because I can't. It's like I need to defrag. It's like there's all these parts and pieces, but in order to put them in a linear line to do what needs to be done in the matrix, there's just so much stress. I can't necessarily do that right now. Well, enjoy this video on both sides of the aisle. If you want to make fun of me, enjoy it. And if you're going through it, enjoy it. And just keep moving. If you're in a time when you can't find the better thought, read novels. Lay there, close your eyes, listen to maybe audiobooks. Not like not necessarily my spiritual stuff, because that will keep putting me back into, even though this can be a spiritual novel, but the adventure stuff is one thing, but the channeled stuff, the spiritual stuff about where we're at now, New Earth stuff, Pleiadian stuff, that gets me into the thoughts of working on those, and I which is good, but that's not a complete release from the fight or flight panic attack energy. And Spirit's telling me that, reading a novel is, and doing these videos unwinds it. And Spirit's working with me. And if you're still here, Spirit's working with you to unwind it in your life. And if you're here just because you don't like me, I love you. I wish you well. And I wish that, for you to have self-awareness. And, if you're someone that I've spoke about online, I've always told 100% truth. And I wish you good things and peace. And if you are one of those folks, I just wish that you would, stop obsessing over me. I don't get it. It's funny because Spirit's like, yeah, in my mind's eye, the thoughts that I obsess over, or the things that I need to save or make right, then those thoughts come back at me, obsessed with me and wanting to make me right. And then there is no right or wrong. And getting to that neutrality of that there is no career, there is no, I did good, I lived a good life. We die. There's death all around us. Where I live, they haven't seemed to notice the last couple of years, but just really been an uptick in it. And so I remember when I had my real estate company, and people come in and be like, oh yeah, I used to be a broker. I'm like, what? Used to? Blah, 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 blah. And now that I'm not saying my life is over. I probably got 30 years to go. Who knows? But I'm just saying that I'm at the other side of that, where I'm like, okay, yeah. It was a big shot, right? Had the bakery, had all the businesses in town, had the commercial buildings, buying real estate, selling real estate, wheeling and dealing. We were millionaires, and then I lost everything. And I was in a big free speech case, and then fighting, battling, and then I just went to this other realm, lived in a car, lived this other life, and now I'm on this other side of this whole other me. So PTSD, law of attraction, whatever I obsess on is going to obsess on me, Spirit says. And so I'm going to stop obsessing over you, so you stop obsessing over me. And who am I talking to in the you? Everybody on Twitter. all the politics, all the government agencies, all of the police, all of the protests, all of that. Like, I am not going to obsess over any of that, and I don't care what y'all do. I want to live my life of peace for me, which doesn't mean I'm not wrapping up things. I am wrapping up things, but if you continue to go out to a protest to fight, I believe this and I believe this, beep, 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 and you're like, oh my God, I got hurt. Yeah. Stop going, okay? We're there. We're in New Earth. It's time to focus on your own personal life and being the best you. And they're still out there fighting in the streets. They're still, hating on groups of people, and there's still group thinking, not individual thinking. So whatever you're obsessing over, you're bringing back that obsession. So when you're out there going, oh my gosh, I did this and this and this, and then you're upset because then there was one that I'm thinking of, then there was a physical altercation, and then there was courts, and there was felonies, and then felonies released, and then there was, but you went there. You chose to rail against that system instead of focusing over here on building what's beautiful for you. And we're now there, okay? Light workers, protesters, like whatever you are now, we made it. So do these techniques that Spirit's talking about in all these different videos of letting go of that. We made it. And so to keep obsessing over it, you're going to just bring that obsession back to you. And so, if, you'll have people in your life who will want to punish you for something you did yesterday, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago, and there's nothing you can do about it. If that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. And if the courts and the cops and the doctors and the nonprofits and all of the great and prominent, wonderful people enable them, so what? You're a sovereign individual. You can do anything you want with your day. And by that, I mean, whatever it is you have to do, your thoughts are yours. If they put you in a work camp for 20 hours a day, or they, put you in jail, or they, put you in a lovely house, or whatever they do to you, right? Your thoughts are your own, right? And just laying there in a car for years, just me and the beach and the horizon, and I just went into these spiritual depths, and no matter what, and I could do that in a jail cell too, right? I can lucid travel, I can talk to God, I am my sovereign self wherever I am. The Spirit wants you to be reminded of that. You are yourself wherever you are. The fact that you can't feel joy, or you can't have fun, or you don't even know what feels good is because there's all these layers of other stuff, other people's version of you. PTSD, habits, patterns of thoughts. And in order to have new thoughts and new experiences, you have to sample things to get more things on the menu. But right now, I'm moving through a spot of, it's actually kind of letting. I think there's spirits here working with me now, and hopefully working with you to let go of that. And so that's what I'm working on. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. No, really, I'm going to shut up. I am. Okay. Goodbye. And if you're crying, well, you get puffy eyes.